Hey y'all, I'm Leslie Herod. I am running to be Denver's next mayor, and this is Hype Dreams. Come on in.
Let's go.
All right, so we're at Green Spaces.
Okay.
We have partnered with Game 7.
Okay.
So they've got all of their vintage merch, leading always with the purple, because Denver is ready.
Of course.
And then we have some of our merch as well. We've got these t-shirts. And my favorite is going to be the hoodie.
Okay.
Because, you know.
No, this is me all day.
Yeah?
I'm not leaving without one of these.
All right, we got to get you one. What size you want?
I'm an XL.
XL. Let me see what we got.
Oh, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. We also have our beanies, though today it's kind of hot.
Okay. It will get cold. Fall,
It will. Yeah, so we've got other merch too. We've got pins. So I'll give you a pin here.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, and they're doing discounted barbershop cuts. And actually we're partnering a lot because it gives people who have felony backgrounds opportunity to work in a field that they want to work in, which is being a barber. But then we also are able to give back and do free cuts. You know, he'll take his chair anywhere. And when I heard Caesar's story, I was like, wow, we got to work together on this stuff, you know? And there's so many people doing that, but also talking about mental health, talking about community, talking about just hustling to get it done for all of us. And so I want to help in any way that I can. And so Caesar's been doing great.
Now, I have to ask because Caesar and Derek from Game 7, those are my guys.
Yeah.
That's Denver culture.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, you taking a chance and giving them an opportunity like this, what's it been like for someone like you working with them?
Well, someone like me is them. So my sister was in and out of incarceration for 30 years, mostly around substance misuse and kind of the criminality around all of that. In and out, you know, zero tolerance policies out of California. No one ever offered her help, including me. We didn't know anything about it, you know? And so when she didn't come for my swearing in the state legislature, I called her. I was like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I was also mad, you know? And she's like, I don't want to embarrass you, you know, by showing up and then finding out that I have a felony. And I told my sister, Kim, I was like, I'm not embarrassed of you. I'm ashamed of our system. Like, we turned our backs on you, you know? And so I work every day to make sure that everyone gets a chance, you know, and that they're not judged by the worst day in their life, you know, or the worst thing that they've ever done. All my sister ever wanted was a job and the ability to take care of her kids and someone to look her in the eye and have a conversation about where she's come from and where she is. I'm proud to say that she is clean and sober right now, and she has renewed her lease twice, and she's in school for political science now.
Congrats.
You know? And so it's all about and I've probably been a legislator who's been in prison more times than anybody because I go and I have the conversations. A lot of the things I've worked on have come from people who are incarcerated. Drug defelonization, parolee voting, all of those bills I passed because I have the people at heart. So when I think about running for mayor, it's about how our stories are the shortest distance between us, and we connect more than we don't, you know? No matter if you're an elected official, if you're a barber, you know, if you're an influencer, if you're just starting your small business. I mean, we're all coming from very similar places, and we all just want to hustle and make it work, not only for ourselves, but for our communities. And that's what I want to do as mayor.
Now, Ms. Leslie, I have to ask you, it's something that's been very near to my heart and our cause, especially with Feed the Block. We have a charity sneaker expo where we actually donate proceeds to charity to protect.
Got it?
Yes.
And we actually do that to help facilitate our unhoused community. Now, one of your agendas that you said was that you plan on clearing 90% of the homeless camps. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, listen, what I know is that 80 to 90% of those who are unhoused on the streets right now want to be in housing. And Denver owns the majority of the vacant lots in our city, Denver, DPS, RTD. And we can actually build housing for people who need it. We can build supportive housing with mental health services, wraparound support, job opportunities. And we can do that right now because the funding is there. The feds have approved over $700 million worth of funding, $1 million worth of funding for Denver, for Colorado, and we're not using it well. So I want to put one foot in front of the other and get people the services and the support that they need. And I like your kicks, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that.
we gotta wear
Look, I did okay too, right?
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's a hype dream. That's what I'm talking about.
Hype dream.
All right. Now, let's specify this a little bit. Not just shelter in general.
No.
When we talk about a safe space for women and children in those shelters, what's your perspective on
Look, even I was just recently at the Salvation Army. Even the Salvation Army is moving away from sheltering because it doesn't work. People want a home, people want a house where they can have their own space with their families. And so that's really what we're focusing on, is getting people that home, that support, and be it temporary or permanent housing. Those are all things that we're talking about right now. And it does come with that mental health support. It comes with that early childhood development support. And even a conversation with the kids in the house about youth violence and how we can prevent that too. Because when we get at the root causes, we can truly build up our communities.
Now, getting away from the past, what could you tell the people of Denver you plan to bring about that would be such a big change from the current Hancock administration?
Listen, for me, Denver is suffering from a lack of action. And what I'm about is being about it, getting it done. I don't just talk about stuff, I get it done. And that's what separates me from the current administration, but also from the people who are running right now. They have a lot of talk, but no one's done the work, I've done the work, and quite frankly, our community deserves that. Someone who's going to fight for us every single day. That's what I'm about.
Now, some people may not know, I know, but you actually worked under the Barack Obama administration.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious as to what you took from that experience that would help you as mayor of Denver.
Well, listen, I am so proud to have worked for the Obamas. I was the 2012 political director for Colorado, and I have the number tattooed on my wrist, 44, because working for them was so empowering. I remember bringing him to City Park and having a conversation about what the kids were doing. He was very interested if the young people were voting, which we're not right now, so turn out to vote. But he's like, what are the young people doing? And I was shocked that a president cared enough to ask me that and genuinely cared. And then he turned to me and he said, when are you running? And I remembered all of the excuses I had. I thought about them, and I realized that none of those excuses matter. I'm talking to the first Black president, and he has gone through such a journey to be where he is, and such a hardship to be the first Black president. We owe it to folks who have sacrificed that much to keep fighting and saying, you're not going to be the only, And that's why I want to be the first female Black mayor of Denver, and want to get it done for our community.
Talk to me a little bit about that journey and what's it been like, especially interacting with the younger girls of Denver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the youth are my inspiration. There's what keeps me going every single day is having the youth there telling me what's real, and what they need. When I hear every day the youth are afraid to go to school, they're afraid to open their social media, they feel like they can get a gun within 30 minutes if they wanted one, we got work to do, and they feel like they need a gun. Youth violence is at an all-time high. We cannot keep turning our backs on our young people. We have got to wrap our arms around them and do more. Folks are worried that they have to turn to, criminal activity to pay their rent for their mom, right? It's all about this space of wanting to give, but it's so warped because of where we're at as a society right now that it leads to this bad behavior and unfortunately this lack of value for life. Our young people aren't valuing life, and we've been there before. We've got to turn that around. We've got to make sure that the youth understand that they're cared about, that they're cared for, and we got to keep people in our communities so that they don't feel so pushed out.
Speaking of the youth, someone else that's very involved, Tay Anderson, somebody that you have a good relationship with. What's your relationship like with Tay, and what do you think he means to Denver?
Tay's a good friend of mine. He's like my child. I'm the older one but Tay is his own elected official, and I think that's very hard for a young man of all but early 20s, started before he could drink, being an elected official. I couldn't imagine going through the stress and pressure that he's gone through if I was that age, and all of the drama that he's gone through, all of the lies, all of the people trying to tear him down, he continues to rise and stand up. And while I don't always agree with his policies, I agree with his fight, he's just fighting for what he thinks is right, and he gets so much bullets put at him, but it's because there's no other leadership around him. You know, in what instance is a young black man, all but 20, you know, the focal point of what's right or wrong with different public schools?
It's one-on-one.
You know what I mean? And it's like there are so many other fingers to point if you wanted to, or you can bring everyone to the table and work together. And so Tay has a hard journey. He is an inspiration to so many. He's a lightning rod to so many too. And being in that space is hard for a black man. And so when we interact, me and Tay, it's about Tay as a person, not as the elected official, not as me as the elected official. It's Tay, are you okay? You know? And that's how we should treat everybody. That's how we treat everybody.
I love it. Now, speaking of everybody, another thing on your agenda is affordable housing.
Yes.
Now, you have said you think that every neighborhood in Denver should have affordable housing.
You've been doing your research.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the community.
Thank you. Yeah, every place should have affordable housing. Every neighborhood. I mean, I live in Park Hill, and where I'm at in Greater Park Hill, there's barely any affordable housing. There's barely any duplexes, triplexes, quads, and that's what we need. We need to have options for people. We need to have gentle density, which means more of those duplexes and quads. And then we also need more just affordable housing in the maybe 500 units with creative space in there too. That's what we need.
Speaking of Game 7, we got Derek in the house. Right?
Yes. I hope you brought some of that for me.
You can definitely take some if you like, sir.
Thank you. This is great.
Now, the election is on Tuesday.
April 4th.
We're going to get this out as soon as possible.
Thank you.
So I need you to let the people know what they need to go and do and where they can do it.
I need you to go vote. You can turn your ballot into any of the drop boxes. If you've never voted before, you're new to Denver, you're a felon, you're on parole, you can vote in Denver. All you have to do is go vote in person. There are plenty of places to do that. The wait is like no minutes, so it takes like 5 minutes to register and vote. Bring your ID, or you can bring a utility bill, whichever one works best for you, and you can vote. And so I need you to vote by 7 p.m. on Tuesday and vote for Leslie for mayor.
Now, Ms. Eric, you're going to be in the office. We know what's going to happen on Tuesday. Denver's going to come through. Now,
Denver's ready.
While you're doing your good work in the office, Hype Dreams, we're in the streets of Denver.
Yeah.
So for the people that's like me at home, give us a little incentive on what we can be doing to help you build up this community.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we got to be at the table together, you know? I need to hear from you what's going on at the ground, you know? And then I need to make sure that I'm supporting you. A mayor should support the community, period. And so for me, it's about like, how are our programs, how are our policies, how are our projects actually like helping people? Are they reaching people or are they not? I'm going to need your help to let folks know that there's housing options, you know, to let folks know that we can be trusted, to let folks know that I'm not going to pull the rug out from beneath them because they trust you. They know you, they trust you. They don't always trust a politician, you know? And so I'm honored to have your support. I'm honored to have your trust and faith. And let's do this together.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Last question, Ms. Eric. I've never seen anybody in the Hancock administration have this kind of heat on feet. So I gotta ask, this is Hype Dreams. What's your favorite sneaker?
This one right here.
Is it this one?
Yeah, this is my purple Jordan. Yes, okay. Of course. And they're actually my first investment sneaker, if you will.
Okay.
And so yeah, I love them. And yeah.
Let's do it.
It's these. And let me see these though. Like
I had to come with the purple.
Come on.
I can get you a pair of these.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's Leslie here, future mayor of Denver, and it's Hype Dreams, and we're out. Y'all go vote.
Hype Dreams, baby.